Welcome back to B&B Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the dramatic tensions unfolding between our favorite characters and the emotional turmoil that threatens to tear apart relationships on The Bold and the Beautiful. The betrayal that could break Hope. Hope Logan finds herself in an increasingly precarious emotional position as Carter Walton's recent decisions have left her feeling utterly betrayed. After placing her complete trust and faith in Carter, his choice to remain loyal to Forrester Creations rather than stand by her side has created a devastating wound in her heart. Unlike her mother Brooke's betrayals, which Hope has unfortunately grown accustomed to over the years, Carter's abandonment feels particularly crushing because she never expected such disloyalty from him. Carter continues to justify his actions, attempting to rationalize how he abandoned Hope after failing to secure a written agreement with Ridge and Eric Forrester. This oversight has allowed Steffie Forrester to maintain control of the company, effectively leaving Hope stranded without support. His decision represents not just a professional setback for Hope, but a deeply personal betrayal that mirrors the pattern of disappointment she's experienced throughout her life. The question now looms large: can Hope and Carter possibly find common ground after this betrayal, or has their relationship been irreparably damaged? The fallout could be catastrophic if Carter fully embraces Steffie's perspective on business matters, potentially destroying any remaining trust Hope has in those around her. With each passing day, Hope's path to happiness seems increasingly obstructed by those she once trusted most. The battle for Ridge's affections. The ongoing saga between Brooke Logan and Taylor Hayes continues to intensify as they compete for Ridge Forrester's attention and affection. In a dramatic turn of events, Taylor has arrived at the perfect moment to thwart Brooke's latest attempt to win Ridge back. Not content to simply interrupt, Taylor has resorted to questionable psychological analysis, effectively abandoning her professional ethics to disparage her romantic rival. Taylor's approach involves drawing unflattering comparisons between Brooke and Hope, seemingly forgetting her medical training in favor of personal attacks. This round of their eternal conflict appears to be tilting in Taylor's favor, as Ridge doesn't seem prepared for another major life change just yet. However, the situation remains fluid, with Ridge's notorious indecisiveness keeping both women in a state of emotional limbo. Ridge himself appears to be enjoying the attention from both women, allowing himself to be positioned as the prize in their ongoing competition. Before Taylor's timely interruption, Ridge seemed to be deliberately pushing Brooke away, making her work harder for his affection, a manipulative tactic that suggests he's more interested in the pursuit than in making a definitive choice between the two women who have dominated his romantic life for decades. Ridge's manipulative game. Ridge Forrester continues to demonstrate his mastery of emotional manipulation as he watches Brooke and Taylor compete for his affections. Rather than making a clear choice or setting boundaries, Ridge appears content to sit back and observe the spectacle while secretly formulating his next move. This calculated approach allows him to maintain control while avoiding commitment to either woman. The dynamic becomes even more complex when Brooke attempts to persuade Ridge to return to her. Just as she begins making progress, Taylor arrives on the scene, creating the perfect dramatic interruption that Ridge secretly appreciates. His enjoyment of being the center of attention reveals much about his character and suggests that his indecision is less about genuine confusion and more about maintaining his position of power in these relationships. Ridge's reluctance to make a definitive choice keeps both women emotionally invested while allowing him the freedom to shift his allegiance whenever it suits him. This pattern has persisted for years, with neither Brooke nor Taylor seeming willing to break free from the cycle, despite the obvious emotional toll it takes on them both. Ridge's behavior suggests he has no immediate plans to resolve this triangle, preferring instead to let it play out while he enjoys the benefits of being pursued by two determined women. Carter's professional dilemma. Carter Walton finds himself caught in a professional quagmire of his own making. His advocacy for Hope's line to return to Forrester Creations demonstrates a fundamental misunderstanding of the company's current power dynamics. Having failed to secure written confirmation of his arrangement with Ridge and Eric, Carter now faces the reality of Steffie's renewed control over the company's direction. His naivety is particularly striking given his legal background and experience within the company. Steffie had made her position clear before Carter's brief tenure at the helm, and her opposition to Hope's line has only strengthened since regaining control. Carter's inability to anticipate this outcome raises questions about his business acumen and suggests that his personal feelings for Hope may have clouded his professional judgment. The consequences of Carter's miscalculation extend beyond his own career prospects. By choosing to remain at Forrester despite being unable to deliver on his promises to Hope, he has effectively prioritized his professional stability over his relationship with her. This decision, while perhaps pragmatic from a career perspective, represents yet another betrayal in Hope's life, potentially pushing her toward a breaking point that could fundamentally change her character moving forward. Brooke and Hope's uncertain future. The question of whether Brooke and Hope can ever find lasting happiness looms large over the current storylines. Both women have experienced repeated betrayals and disappointments, creating a pattern of emotional trauma that shapes their decisions and relationships. Brooke's pursuit of Ridge continues despite years of evidence suggesting their relationship is fundamentally unstable, while Hope faces yet another betrayal from someone she trusted completely. The mother-daughter relationship between Brooke and Hope adds another layer of complexity to their individual struggles. Hope has witnessed her mother's romantic tribulations throughout her life, potentially internalizing unhealthy relationship patterns. Now, as Hope experiences her own betrayal from Carter, parallels to Brooke's experiences become increasingly apparent, suggesting a generational cycle of disappointment and heartbreak. For either woman to achieve genuine happiness, significant changes would be necessary, not just in their circumstances, but in how they approach relationships and define their self-worth. The path forward remains unclear, but the current trajectory suggests continued challenges and emotional turmoil for both Brooke and Hope as they navigate the complicated web of relationships that defines their lives on The Bold and the Beautiful. Next, we will learn about the issues surrounding Hope Logan's career trajectory and the exciting possibilities that lie ahead for this beloved character after her recent professional setback. A new dawn for Hope Logan. The winds of change are blowing through Los Angeles, and no one feels this more acutely than Hope Logan. What might initially appear as a devastating professional setback could actually be the universe's way of redirecting her toward a more fulfilling destiny. The cancellation of her fashion line at Forrester Creations has left many fans wondering, what's next for this resilient character? Spencer Publications stands as a beacon of opportunity on Hope's horizon. With its recent pivot toward fashion-centric content and the launch of an innovative streaming service, the company seems perfectly positioned to welcome someone with Hope's industry expertise and public recognition. Liam Spencer, always the strategic thinker, might recognize this golden opportunity to not only strengthen his company's market position but also potentially rekindle the flame with his former love. The fashion industry has always recognized Hope's unique vision, industry insiders have noted. Her departure from Forrester Creations could be the catalyst for a revolutionary new chapter in her career journey. The Forrester fallout. The tension between Hope and Steffie Forrester had reached its inevitable breaking point. Their professional rivalry, characterized by Steffie's persistent attempts to undermine Hope's vision and Hope's equally determined efforts to preserve her creative legacy, had become an exhausting cycle for both the characters and viewers alike. The cancellation of Hope for the future represents more than just the end of a fashion line. It symbolizes the conclusion of a repetitive narrative arc that had begun to lose its dramatic impact. Steffie's decision to terminate the entire venture has effectively closed one chapter in Hope's life, forcing her to confront the blank page that now lies before her. Sometimes, the most beautiful designs emerge from a clean slate, as fashion icon Coco Chanel once observed. This philosophy might serve Hope well as she contemplates her next move in the competitive landscape of Los Angeles's fashion and media industries. Exploring new horizons. The professional crossroads at which Hope now stands offers numerous intriguing pathways. While collaboration with another designer to launch an independent fashion line remains a viable option, perhaps at Fenmore's LA branch, Hope might benefit from a complete departure from the world that has caused her so much recent heartache. Her father, Deacon Sharp, would undoubtedly welcome her into the fold at Il Giardino, but Hope's talents and ambitions likely extend beyond restaurant management. Moreover, the prospect of working alongside Sheila Sharp presents its own set of complications that Hope would be wise to avoid. Career transitions often lead to unexpected personal growth, career counselors suggest. The skills Hope developed at Forrester Creations, creative vision, leadership, resilience under pressure, are highly transferable to numerous industries. The Spencer opportunity. The most promising avenue for Hope's professional reinvention might lie with Spencer Publications. The company's recent emphasis on fashion content creates a natural alignment with Hope's expertise, while its new streaming service and cutting-edge app offer exciting platforms for innovation. Wyatt Spencer had previously recognized Hope's potential value to the organization, and now Liam might seize this perfect timing to extend an invitation. As Hope searches for a new professional home, Spencer Publications could offer not just employment but a chance to reinvent herself on her own terms, free from the shadow of the Forrester dynasty. Media companies are increasingly seeking authentic voices with industry experience, media analysts point out. Hope's insider perspective on the fashion world would bring invaluable credibility to Spencer's fashion coverage. Romantic possibilities. The professional realignment could potentially spark romantic developments as well. Hope's increased proximity to Liam in a professional setting might naturally rekindle their connection, allowing them to rediscover each other in a new context. Their shared history, combined with this fresh start, could create the perfect conditions for romance to bloom once again. Workplace relationships often develop a different dynamic than purely personal ones, relationship experts note. Seeing each other in professional roles can reveal new dimensions of personality and create deeper respect. Challenges on the horizon. Despite these promising possibilities, Hope's journey won't be without obstacles. The coming weeks will present several challenges that will test her resilience and determination. These hurdles might include professional skepticism about her capabilities outside the Forrester umbrella, personal doubts about her new direction, or interference from those who preferred her previous role. Growth occurs at the edge of comfort, psychologists remind us. The challenges Hope faces will ultimately strengthen her character and clarify her true priorities. As viewers, we'll be eagerly watching how Hope navigates this exciting new chapter in her life, hoping that what initially seemed like a professional disaster might ultimately lead to her greatest triumph yet. Stay tuned to our channel for more updates on Hope's journey and all the latest developments in the world of the bold and the beautiful. Next, we will learn about the fascinating dynamics between characters on The Bold and the Beautiful, particularly examining the complex nature of Steffie Forrester and her ongoing rivalry with Hope. The intricate character dynamics of The Bold and Beautiful. The endless debate among fans regarding character morality continues to captivate viewers of this long-running soap opera. When examining the nuanced personalities that populate the show's landscape, we find ourselves drawn into complex discussions about accountability, self-awareness, and the fascinating gray areas that define these beloved characters. Fan perspectives on character development. The viewer community has developed passionate opinions about the show's leading ladies. Many ardent followers have expressed thoughtful commentary on social media platforms, dissecting the behaviors and motivations that drive these characters. Hope may demonstrate questionable behavior recently, but I cannot recall any instance where she explicitly claimed sainthood, noted one particularly observant fan in a recent discussion thread. This observation highlights the interesting phenomenon where characters are often judged against standards they never claimed to uphold. Another viewer eloquently articulated, Hope consistently acknowledges her missteps, whereas Steffie tends to justify rather than apologize for her actions. This perspective introduces an intriguing dimension to our understanding of these characters' moral frameworks. The comment continues by noting that Steffie frequently frames her questionable choices as simply fighting for what she wants, suggesting a different approach to personal accountability. Comparative character analysis. The fascinating parallels between different character pairings have not gone unnoticed by the show's dedicated audience. As one insightful fan commented, Hope and Taylor share similar personality traits, positioning them as counterpoints to the more assertive personalities embodied by Brooke and Steffie. This observation suggests a deliberate character balance within the show's universe, creating natural tensions and alliances. The comment further elaborates that Hope and Taylor have generally made fewer mistakes than their rivals, though this assessment naturally invites debate about what constitutes a mistake versus a deliberate choice. This nuanced distinction between character types creates the rich tapestry of relationships that keeps viewers returning episode after episode. Examining Steffie Forrester's multifaceted personality. Steffie Forrester remains one of the show's most enigmatic characters, presenting a fascinating study in contradictions. Her character arc has traversed numerous emotional landscapes, revealing both tremendous strength and notable vulnerabilities. What makes Steffie particularly compelling is her resistance to simple categorization. The saint/sinner dichotomy. The question of whether Steffie should be viewed as a saint or sinner represents a false dichotomy that fails to capture her complexity. Her character demonstrates remarkable resilience in facing life's challenges, often making difficult choices that reflect her priorities and values. While these decisions may sometimes appear self-serving, they typically emerge from a place of fierce loyalty to her family and determination to protect her interests. Unlike characters who might present a more consistent moral stance, Steffie embraces her contradictions. This self-awareness creates a character who feels authentically human rather than idealized. Her willingness to acknowledge her flaws, at least to herself, provides a refreshing contrast to characters who might maintain a more carefully curated public image. Accountability and self-perception. One particularly passionate viewer commented on Steffie's approach to personal accountability, noting, "Whenever anybody calls Steffie out on her hypocrisy, her defenders immediately respond with 'she never claimed perfection' or 'she owns her mistakes,' as though acknowledging flaws excuses behaviors like bullying or hypocrisy." This observation raises fascinating questions about the relationship between self-awareness and accountability. The comment specifically references instances where Steffie has allegedly engaged in slut-shaming behaviors similar to actions she has criticized in others. This pattern of behavior creates an interesting tension between Steffie's self-perception and her actions, suggesting that acknowledging imperfection doesn't necessarily translate to meaningful behavioral change. The ongoing Hope-Steffie rivalry. The relationship between Hope and Steffie continues to provide rich dramatic material for the show. Their contrasting approaches to life's challenges create natural friction that has sustained viewer interest across multiple storylines. Contrasting personality types. Hope has traditionally been portrayed with qualities that position her as more conventionally virtuous, though recent storylines have introduced greater complexity to her character. The perception that Hope engages in gaslighting behavior represents a significant evolution from her earlier characterization, suggesting interesting developments in how the writers are approaching this character. Steffie, conversely, has consistently embraced her more assertive qualities. Her approach to conflict tends to be direct, sometimes abrasively so. This characteristic has earned her both admirers who appreciate her straightforwardness and critics who find her methods unnecessarily confrontational. The question of perfection. A recurring theme in discussions about these characters centers on the concept of perfection. As one viewer astutely observed, while Steffie never claimed perfection, when did Hope ever explicitly present herself as saintly? This question highlights how viewers sometimes project expectations onto characters based on their general demeanor rather than their stated self-perception. The comparison between Hope and Steffie ultimately reveals more about viewer expectations and preferences than objective character assessment. Both characters demonstrate complex motivations and make choices that sometimes align with and sometimes contradict their established values. As devoted viewers continue to follow the unfolding drama on The Bold and the Beautiful, these character dynamics will undoubtedly continue to evolve in fascinating ways. The show's enduring appeal lies precisely in these complex character relationships and the endless debates they inspire among its passionate fanbase.